So I'm Joy Reid with NASDF, and I am joined today by somebody I respect very, very much and admire, Michele Heffron, who on your website your title is Transformational Life Coach.
Yes.
And one of the things that I love is that I've seen that term used by other people, transformation, but you really are the embodiment of that. I mean, you really get in and work with people on several different areas and with many different levels to really transform and shift, which is
Yeah.
beautiful. In fact, I printed out something from your website under my purpose because I just loved it. And I am passionate about this work because I know what it's like to lose yourself and what it takes to find your way forward. Because I believe in the quiet power of a woman who chooses herself.
Mhm.
Because I've lived the questions and made a life from the answers. And because I know the moment you remember who you are, everything changes.
Yeah.
I just, it's, it's so powerful. And well, actually, it's like what you say here, it's very quietly powerful. It's,
Yes.
it's very spot on. And you really do, your work lives that. And having spoken to you several times, you embody that, which is
Thank
beautiful.
you.
And the other one of the things I also really appreciate, especially about your site and so many times now we'll go on someone's website and it'll have four different tabs saying absolutely nothing about what they actually do. Like it's a lot of flowery language that doesn't really get into the specifics of what services or resources they provide, and yet yours not only very clear but very powerful. I mean, under your coaching, you don't just have career coaching, life coaching, love coaching. You call it what it is. You have reinvention, unraveling to rebuilding, love aligned, next level. I just, I love the way that you've called that. Of course, I know a little bit about the love aligned, and calling in the one and the work that you do. But I would love for you to take some time and tell everyone, our listeners, your listeners, about what it is you do in these categories and how you really get in and work with people.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks so much, Joy. When I'm talking about next level or reinvention, love aligned, and even the unraveling to rebuilding, and when you tie that into transformation, in every area of our lives, when you start to actually change some things, some digging in for, maybe old behaviors or belief systems and things like that, your whole life really shifts. And so,
Yes.
whether you're going through a divorce or you're coming out of one or you're looking for love again in your life, or even you're trying to redefine who you are because you become so lost in the essence of who you became through whatever you've been through, because we've all been through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there is a way to actually shift who you're being through that whole thing, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And in each of those cases, it's really kind of getting into these areas and deciding, what do you really want? Because I think most of the time, so many of us don't really know what we want. And we're afraid to say it.
Mm-hmm.
We also spend a lot of time arguing for our limitations.
Yes. Yeah.
And, whether you're making justifications or trying to over explain yourself, all of these things are areas to sort of look at and decide, what do you want to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when I went through my reinvention, and that's why I called that first one, I had gone through a terrible divorce about 15 years ago, a little over 15 years ago. And I literally was at rock bottom at that point in my life. I had no idea what I was going to do because I had been a stay-at-home mom for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'd lost a career. It was throughout my most prolific earning years, really, because I was about 38 when I started staying home, and I was almost 50 by the time I
Went
went
to
through.
re-enter.
And I learned the very hard way that I didn't know what the heck I was doing with my
Yeah.
life. And it was a scary thing at the ripe age of 49 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, holy crap, I'm just, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so but I knew that I wasn't going to be defeated. And I knew that there was something more in me. And I knew I wanted to help other people in some way. There was this like burning desire to help others. So I just started taking anything I could get a little at a time. But then I actually hired a coach. I really scraped together every little cent I had so I could hire this coach because I knew I needed some help with some stuff and I didn't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I really didn't even know what. Like I couldn't have told you why I was going.
Well, but that's I was anything like that, like a huge upheaval like that, I call it the moving syndrome. Like when you need to move, right? And you're standing in your house going, I don't even know where to pat. Like where do you start? What cupboard do you start with? So it's that
Exactly.
overwhelm of just what am I doing?
Right. And you kind of get into that deer in the headlights sort of look
Yes.
because I'm
Yes.
stuck. So it's easier to do nothing. And,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so after a while, you can't stay in bed and pull the covers over your head any longer. Something has to give. And when I started opening up, and I'm not going to tell you it happened quickly for me because I resisted and resisted and resisted a lot.
As we do.
And what I've learned now, and what I now know, is that if you open up to seeing what else is possible for you, having another set of eyes or some guidance, and you actually follow it, you get to where you want to go a lot faster and you get a lot more clarity about what you want. And you get a lot more clarity about what you don't want because that informs what you do want. And we start to focus on what it is that you want and we start moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where transformation starts to happen. And
Yes.
it's a full body experience. You cannot do this from up in your head.
No.
It has to be, we have to drop into our hearts and our bodies because our bodies, oddly enough, and I know a lot of people maybe don't understand this, but our bodies remember stuff.
100%. Muscle memory is more than just remembering how to do a habit or a movement. Our pains, traumas, fears, joys, everything live inside of our bodies.
All of it. And so when we start to understand how we can shift some of that stuff going in our body and get it up and out of us, we start making space. It's like cleaning out your closet.
Yes.
You
Yes.
start making space for something fresh and new. And when you do open up like that, miracles really happen. And I don't mean to be woo-woo here, but I do know that if we're holding on so tightly to our old beliefs and our old ways of doing and not investigating the uninvestigated, then we're going to keep getting the same things over and over and over again in our life.
Yes.
Right? It's like beating your head up against the wall. It's like, I can't scream at somebody any longer because they're not doing what I want them to do. So why am I continuing to go at this in the same way?
Yeah.
So no matter what, if you're going through a reinvention, or I use this a lot when I'm working with people going through or coming out of divorce, you actually have to show up differently. And when you're calling love into your life, if you really want true, happy, healthy love that lights you up every single day of your life, not that there's not issues. I mean, relationships do come with that too, but you get to see things differently and be willing to take a different approach to it, be willing to see things differently and open up to whatever else is possible out there.
Right.
And that's how we get to next level.
Right.
There's a lot. And it's simple. It's not always easy to do it because there is this I follow Joe Dispenza's work a lot, and there's a lot of other leaders out there in this whole world. It's about believing that you can have something and do something, behaving as if it's already happened, and then becoming what it is that you are wanting to become. And that's why I like to give people hope who are going through major transitions, because we all have it in us to do it if we really wanted to. And that's the kicker, is that you have to make a decision that, yes, this is what I want and this is what I'm going after.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's when I was thinking about when you were talking about wanting to, help and assist. And I have a friend, one of her favorite stories is this sort of allegory about a man who's walking along and sees somebody in a hole and looks down and jumps into the hole. And the person in the hole says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I've been in this hole. I know the way out. I'm in here to help you get out."
Yeah.
And, when you're talking about the coaching and standing there with a deer in the headlights, we're in a hole. We have no idea how to break out of the hole, because that's the thing. Once you shift, you know how to keep shifting. But especially at one of the first major shifts of your life or transformations of your life, we have no idea how the heck to do that. And we need
No.
somebody to jump in the hole who's already been out to show us how to get there and what to do.
Yes. That's a great analogy. And I always like to share that everything I teach and everything I do is what I wanted to learn from me.
Yeah.
And I know that I wasn't alone out there. I know other people want this too. And so I'm a continuous learner. I'm always going and getting more educated on things so I can help more people in a deeper and more meaningful way. And that's it. It's like, I'm going to show you the way out of this.
Yeah.
If you're willing to go with me.
If you're willing to go with me, that's that you have to be willing to do the work. Right. That was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And one of the big parts of AA is how honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. You cannot shift or change without honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Because you also have to honestly be able to look at not just what you need to work on or what you need to strengthen, but we have to look into our shadow selves, our dark selves, and be very, very honest with us about all of our stuff. This isn't just about, you don't get to find your light without also acknowledging and holding your dark. So
1,000%. And what I wrote down there is being willing to be humble. Like, there's some humility involved with that, and being okay with not being right all the time. I don't know about you, but I find this a lot of time, and this is that arguing for your limiting beliefs, or else not understanding that being right isn't necessarily being happy.
Yep. Yeah. I had an old sponsor where we were having this conversation, and she said, "Joy, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?" And I said, "Sharon, being right makes me happy." And she said, no, that's not, we need to look at that. That's not okay. But and I think we all, as humans, we really struggle with being wrong. I think we find "I'm sorry" scarier to say than "I love you" a lot of times.
You're spot on. And what I have found through so much of this work, and then in my personal experience as well, is because it requires us to debunk some of our own beliefs when we have to say we're sorry.
Yeah.
And we have to go back and understand where that need came from to always appear like we have the answers all the time.
Yep, all the answers.
Yeah.
And always know what we're doing, even when we have no idea what we're doing.
Well, yes. And it's back to humility, because it feels, when you're first trying to do this, and that first time you have to say, and you're sorry, or it's hard. And what I have also found is that even through my Love Aligned program, which is you named it, it's Calling in the One, which is a nationally acclaimed program that I actually teach. And it's really about forgiving your own self and developing a beautiful relationship with yourself in order to become the person to have the relationship with the love of your life, or even all relationships in your life. Because when you start embracing yourself as your own beautiful truth without the self-doubt and the self-deprecation, all the other things that go along with that all fear-based thoughts and things like that, then you can release those things and actually start seeing yourself for the beautiful human that you actually are. And that's the point of so much of this. And that's how we start coming to the table as a new and expanded version of ourselves that's easier for others to love because we love ourselves.
Which of course is the primary relationship, right? We're who we come in with and we're who we go out with.
Yep. Yes. I just lost my train of thought there.
I hate that when that happens. And it's like right there, like you feel like you could just hop right back on it, but it's just,
There's a little cloud bubble up there with it. It's there. But you're so right. And that is part of the transformation. Oh, I know. It kind of gets back to that whole adage of when you're on the airplane and they say, put your own oxygen mask on first. That gets overused, I think, that analogy oftentimes, but it's actually so true.
Yes.
That you can't help anybody else if you're suffocating. You keep somebody else with air if you're not fully functioning. And we've been, so many of